Hey everybody, it's me, KD, back with Kelly. I know it's been like a year, but we're back on shooting the shit. It's a dirty job. Somebody has to do it. Why not us? So we've been through a lot the past couple of months. So let's start back with a little check-in with everybody. As you see, we have a few extra guests today. Everybody wave. Everybody wave. Okay, we have Ann Pace and we have Andi Marquette with us as well. And of course, Kelly.
Of course.
So what has everybody been up to? Who wants to start? What have you guys been up to?
I'm going to start with you, Katie.
Okay.
Because I've been worried about you.
Well, went through this little hurricane thing. Just a little bit. So that from what I understand, decimated about, I want to say, I think it says 16,000 homes in this area, but like in the Terrebonne Lafourche area, maybe more than that, depending on what part of the parish you go. We had a little bit. We had more than a little bit of damage. Well, we had some roof damage. I was just happy to come around the corner actually and see my house still there. So that was the biggest thing. You know, the other big thing was traveling and moving around with 5 pets. So that was interesting. Yeah. So, but
wait, how many pets do you have?
5.
Is that why you're always letting dogs out?
Yes.
You have 5 dogs.
No.
It's not the same dog, Kelly. There's 5.
we have 3 pugs and we have 2 cats.
For some reason, I thought you had like 2 pugs, and I don't know about cats.
No. We have 3 pugs and 2 cats.
Well,
now, one of the cats, asshole Finn.
Oh, that's right.
Going
Finn.
outside too. So he slips out when nobody's looking, and we'll be looking for him. And all of a sudden, you hear scratching on the door, on the patio door, and meowing. And he's been outside. Like, bitch, how long have you been there? And you know he thinks he's a dog, but I digress.
Right. I did know about Finn. I apologize.
Yes,
I knew about
Finn. Yeah.
Well, it's because Finn and Clark are like brothers.
Yes, they are. They are, and they're very special together. Yeah, very special.
I can only imagine the level of derp if you put those 2 in a room.
Yes. Oh my God. So yeah, just imagine traveling with him. That was fun. So he had to be drugged several times. Let's just put it that way. Drugged. So we drove up. My wife got here before I did. We were driving separate cars, and I got maybe 5 minutes after she did, and I was so happy to see a house there. I was like, oh my God, because as we were driving from, I think we were coming from, I want to say Memphis. I think we were coming from Memphis. As we were driving and we got into Louisiana and to these parts right here, they were more affected by the hurricane. It was like, oh my God. I mean, it would be like 3 houses would be okay. And then the next house would be completely gone. Then a couple of houses will be okay. And then the next house will be rubble, and it was like that with the businesses too. So I was really scared that I was going to turn down my street and there was going to be maybe the house, but without the roof. I mean, so I think I consider us very lucky. I mean, we had a home, to stay, we had some roof damage. We had our back patio doors blew open. Which damaged them, and it rained like in the house. Like, we're talking 150 miles an hour wind. So it rained in the house. It ruined like nearly all the hardwood floors. So we had to get those up. It rained the rain got through the windows. So it rained into, the master bedroom, my office. Let's see, we have some, like I said, we had some roof damage. And that was like, we had some front porch damage. One of the what do you call the things that hold a porch up?
Column supports.
Yeah, one of the supports were just gone. I mean, it been knocked down. So I don't know. We have to get that fixed as well. Our fence was completely gone. We had 2 sheds in the backyard. Poor Finn's catio was gone too.
Oh.
So yeah, it was the weird things. The sheds were gone, but everything that was in the sheds were still there.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's the strangest thing.
It sucks because it was all terrible, but like when you compare to everything else around you and the fact that your house is still standing and all of you were safe, and I think that's the most important part, right? You, your pets, all of you were safe. And you guys have insurance to cover all the damages? Okay.
We're still working on hearing back from them. Of course, with all the claims and stuff that's that are going through is, of course, it's going to be a while, but we're kind of ready for things to go back to normal a little bit. There's things here that are still closed, businesses that are probably never going to open again, restaurants that are never going to open again. So, and I keep trying to tell my wife, she goes like, oh, just, let's go to someone or let's call so-and-so. I was like, no, honey, things are not normal. I mean, you'll go through some areas where, oh, there's a traffic light, and then you'll get somewhere where there's no traffic lights. The houses are boarded up or they're rubble and there's still debris on the side of the road. Everybody has debris that's yet to be picked up. I mean, it took 3 weeks for us to have regular garbage pickup. Well, more than that, it was almost a month. So
how long were you away from your home?
My God, it seemed like forever. We left, I want to say the 28th. We went to I went to my mother-in-law's house because we figured it'll be better there. It's still in Louisiana, but it was on the other side of the storm. So we did get some wind there and some rain. I think the wind may be up to, I think it was 75 miles an hour, maybe up to 100. So we got some of that. They lost power pretty early, but and there was some downed trees. So we went there, but after we lost power and they were saying it's going to be a month before it got turned back on again. Yeah, and so we went to Memphis for a few days. So I want to say a week and a half, maybe. Yeah, I mean, because we wanted to wait until it was safe to come back too, because there were so many. I mean, some of the streets were flooded. Still, there were trees everywhere, debris, people's roofs were all over the place. So we wanted to wait until we knew we could get here, and not impede anybody from doing what they need to do to make the area safe. So it's about a week and a half. It seems like it was a year. I mean, because, it was like when you don't have control over what's going on and you have no idea what's happening, it just,
don't know if your house is still there.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I think a lot of people,
yeah,
I think a lot of people too don't understand how when you go through a disaster of that size and proportion, and they get angry. They're like, what do you mean? The power is going to be off for a month, or what do you mean I can't get my house fixed for 2 months? And they forget that like the people needed to do these things. There's so many of them that need to be done. There's only so many contractors out there that can re-roof your house. There's only, and some of the contractors may have suffered damage as well and equipment loss. So people forget that, all the local, in order, they'd either have to have people coming in from out of state or, all the local resources are already tied up. And if you lose 16,000 homes, or 16,000 homes are affected, that's going to take a while. That's an enormous, not just on the people that are doing the work, but getting supplies, getting the lumber, everything you need to do this work. That's just a sudden hit to the area, as far as supply.
It is. And we had people coming in for estimates for windows, for doors. For the windows, it was going to be 2.5 months. For the door, 5 months.
Oof.
I mean,
Can
so
Katie, do you think some of this too is also related to supply issues since the Great Texas Freeze? I was talking
yes.
to our paint lady here in town, and she's like, "Yeah, we can't get certain things because of Texas." And
Mhm.
I was like, "That's legit. Let's blame Texas."
Yeah, this sounds
I
good.
think
Yeah.
lumber itself is
Right.
supply is down everywhere. Like
It is,
prices
and it's very
skyrocketed
expensive.
this year.
Lumber is very expensive. Right now.
Skyrocketed because you can't get it.
So basically, it's a giant clusterfuck, and then you get
Yep.
this massive hurricane coming in, and
Makes it even worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I've been up to. I mean, I've had internet for about 2 weeks. I mean, we were kind of stuck watching DVDs and Blu-rays. I mean, I think my wife saw I broke out with I had the first couple of seasons of La Femme Nikita, the one with Peter Wilson.
Oh.
So we kind of broke out with that. I mean, who doesn't love Peter Wilson? I mean,
I don't
broke
know
out with that, and of course she was like, "This is the stupidest show I've ever seen." And I was like, "Give it a minute to grow on you, girl. It doesn't age well. Let's just put it that way."
Oh.
It does not age well. So, and we watched Boondocks, of course. We have like all the seasons of Boondocks. Who cannot watch Boondocks? I mean, it's so inappropriate, but so hilarious at the same time. So yeah, we watched.
I could have like shipped down all 6 seasons of Xena Warrior Princess
I have
on DVD.
Xena. I have it.
Or the first 2 seasons of The Greatest American Hero.
You have that?
I do.
I used to love that show.
I did too when I was a kid, and now you watch it though, and you're like, oh no,
like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, they didn't age well.
But none of the '80s shows like that had very good effects. I mean, if you think about like what was the $1 Million Man or whatever, where it's like,
oh yeah,
like it just
with the slow motion running.
Yeah, exactly.
An entire generation of people know exactly what that means.
Yes,
but the rest of them are like, what the fuck are these old people talking about?
What are they?
Well,
let's not forget about the Bionic Woman.
The Bionic Woman.
Yeah, it's a Bionic Woman. Oh, and
she
like,
also ran slow motion. She also ran slow motion, but
yes,
well, they teamed up sometimes, right?
Yes, they did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Lee Majors and
because Steve had a thing for Jamie.
Yes,
yeah,
and they had her accident, and it
of course
they wouldn't break each other if they,
and just fucked everything up because she was so fucked up afterwards that she just didn't feel for him.
What was the name of the actress that played Jamie?
Lindsay Wagner.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, I couldn't think of her name for the life of me. Yeah.
Oh man.
So okay, so that's what's going on with me. What about everybody else?
I'm just really glad that you're fine, that your wife's fine, the animals are fine, and that your house is not a complete horribleness.
Yes, me too.
You still have a house.
I still have a house.
Yeah.
Still have a house. Yes, I still have a house. So Kelly, what have you been up to?
Work. I had a book come out September 1st. It was my first one in over a year. It's been a really hard year to write. So that finally released. It's my first high fantasy. It was a funny fantasy romance because I like all of those things.
And you put them all in a pot and stirred.
So I created this myth world, right? I created this myth world and I'm like, I hate writing series. I don't want to write series. I'm not going to, but I wanted to write this book and I had to create an entire world to do it because I'm a world builder. So I have all these notes, but then I'm like, well, I don't want it to go to waste. So I offered it up to my publisher, Patty. And I said, what if we make this an open world and let anybody from Flashpoint write in the world if they want? And then we just expand on the notes. We have them in Google Sheets, expand on the notes if we write. And I purposely set up a couple little side things so that somebody could take that pair and write about it. And the whole reason I wrote this, honestly, was someone watching a panel like last year or the year before, someone was talking about, a contemporary romance writer, one of the big names, right? Like Melissa Braden or something. And they're like, sci-fi, fantasy, speculative fiction. They're like, unfortunately, it's never going to pay as well as contemporary romance. And and it's because it's such a popular thing. And I'm like, it bites my butt because I'm 90% of a speculative fiction writer. And I'm like, there's these like, not genres, but like tropes and things that I really love with contemporary romance. And I don't really like a lot of contemporary romance, but I love a fake romance. I love that. There's a couple other tropes. Sometimes I love celebrity romance, but I love that fake romance. I'm guessing dogs have to come in, but should I pause?
In a minute.
Right. Nah. Should I pause? Should I keep going? Nah. So anyway, I created this world just so that I could take contemporary romance tropes and write books in it. Right. So I set up a couple in my book that is a royal romance and a second chance romance. Right. There's another couple that could be like an adventure, and it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to write them. And we had the editor that went through my second editor. She wanted me to take out the what's the end? The
epilogue.
Epilogue. She wanted me to take out the epilogue because she said, "What if you want to write more books?" And I said, "No, the epilogue has to be there because it says something very specific about the one character." And I said, "I'm not going to write anymore." And my publisher, Patty, is like, "Yeah, I agree." I said, "I'm not writing anymore about this couple. This is a one and done." So even though it kind of says that the book is a series, it's not really. It's just in a joined world. Like if you think about what are the D&D books, right? Or Dragonlance.
So basically, we can write fanfic in your world.
Yeah, have at it. Absolutely.
So when you say you don't want to turn it into a series, would you ever go back to that world and write another story?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. The world is open. I can write whatever I want in there.
So there would be like standalones in that same world?
Or somebody could write a series in the world. I don't care. I'm just not going to write about that pair. Okay. To me, it's done. And I don't like writing series, Anne. I know I'm locked into one right now, but I like freshness. It's just so much world building to create a world that you feel guilty for not writing more. Mm-hmm. And this way I can accommodate that. But and I didn't get a promotion, but I'm in the process of getting hired into my company. I've been working as a contract for the last 7 years. So
Jesus hell. Good for you.
It's long-term contract. Yeah.
Are you stoked?
It's huge because not only do I get paid for about 5 more days a year just because the company pays their people for those days where we have them off. My company doesn't. I also have a large pay bump. And I think they do like profit share.
Wow. That's nice.
By large, it's like 20. That's large for me.
That's quite a
so
that's quite a pay bump. Yeah.
Katie, what's your shirt?
I have Captain Marvel today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
I have my geek robot.
Ooh, I like that.
It's got all the colors. Nice. It's sci-fi. It's nerdy. I wore it to Pride. Our Detroit Pride got pushed back to October. It wasn't that busy, but it was really nice, and I wore it to Detroit Pride. So.
Oh, I saw the pics on Facebook of you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes. Okay, what did I miss when I was gone? Who else has got to talk about what have they been up to?
Anne. Go, okay. Anne. Yeah.
Go.
Oh, well, not
much.
Not much is happening because I'm back at work after 2-month vacation. I'm a teacher. That's why.
I know. I know.
And I still better read as much as I can.
When people write.
Mm-hmm. I read something today. Jay posted on her page that it's Beta Reader Day.
Oh, really?
Really? So should we have gotten you flowers?
No, that's all right. No, that's all right.
Maybe I could have sent you a couple of words that I've actually written.
I would have liked that.
You're like, skip flowers. Give me the next chapter, bitches.
Give me words. A bouquet of words. That would be good. So yeah, not much has happened since we last spoke. I just up to my eyeballs at work.
Yeah, them nasty teenagers. Yeah.
Yep.
I want to
Mhm.
do a shout out to Anne for being a teacher.
Right?
Yeah,
Thank
with
you.
nasty
Especially in
teenagers.
in these
Some people
shitty
here,
times.
yeah, some people here, I just had 2 months off work, but it's like, her work is twice as hard as everybody else's for the other 10 months of the year. So those 2
Yes,
months are well deserved.
exactly.
And then half of that is probably wrap up and then prep for the next school year.
And she's dealing with teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Ew.
preteens.
Same
Worse.
thing. Same thing. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
They think they're teenagers, man. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Andy,
Yup.
what's been going on with you?
Captain Andy. It's Captain Andy
I
today.
know.
This, let's just say the last, since 2019, since March 2019, my life has been in absolute turmoil.
Ugh.
And come this past June that we just had, June 2021, I left my job of 11 years because of hellscape nastiness. And I just was like, fuck this. And I had, gotten a lot of ducks in a row. So now, Cotton, Kelly, I am on contract work and I am actually really loving it. I have a couple of contracts, both are part-time, and I have some extra time to recover from the horrible hellscape that I just got out of.
Sometimes contract gives you that temporary stability.
That's
that
what
you
I'm
need. I
doing.
was hired knowing it was a long-term contract and they would just roll me into other departments as the project ended. But yeah, the short-term contract, I know a lot of people that swear by it. That was my first time ever actually working under contract.
Oh, neat. This one was, I got one for a year and another one for 4 or 5 months. So it's given me a little bit of a window to figure out what I want to do next. And I really don't know what that is. So
breathing room.
We'll
right?
see. I'm getting a little bit of a break, and that was very nice. It's just this COVID has just fucked a lot of shit up. And
you live in an area where they're just stupid.
No,
I live in an area that's stupid.
I think most people live in stupid areas.
I live in a stupid area too, where COVID is concerned. Yeah.
I moved back to rural Colorado, and I have been taking care of my older folks. And I'm really glad I got here before the lockdowns so that I could help negotiate the horribleness that this has been going through this. And I feel very fortunate that I'm in a rural area and we have a really good county health department.
Oh, that's good.
And I feel very fortunate because there's not that many people here. So, we did actually lose a couple friends to COVID. They were older, but still,
Yeah. Well, you could, so many people lost people to COVID. I mean, you could throw.
I think everybody probably knows either somebody or somebody who lost somebody. I think that's how it is now. But so it's just been a lot of transition for me in terms of work and what am I doing next and all of that. But I'm in a much better space emotionally after I gave notice, and I was
bet.
Sometimes you have to do it. I mean, that's what my wife did. She worked for the same practice for 15 years. It was nice. It was right around the corner. She's a veterinarian. It was right around the corner. She would come home and take naps, let the dog out. And since COVID started, our situations have almost reversed because I've been working from home since March of last year? I lose track. Is it last year?
No, was it last year? The year
2020.
Yeah, the lockdowns were
okay. So I've been working from home since then, and I'm going to continue working from home. I got approval to keep working remote. I'll have to once they go in, I'll have to go in once every other week. I'll have to go in, which will, I'm hoping, coincide with my once every other day week hair appointments in the same area. So I like to be practical, but she quit her job. She quit her job because it was such a toxic environment. She was miserable because their management changed, and now she does end of life care for going to people's homes and putting pets to sleep. but she drives all over, and now I don't drive at all. So it's it's a very different. It's completely reversed.
Has she read Spindrift from I think it's Spindrift?
It's Anna
It's-
Burke, a Spindrift. But
Anna Burke.
Yes.
my wife
Yes.
doesn't really read lesfic.
Oh, because
At
it's
all.
about a vet who did that. And
Because
apparently
Anna's
it's a
wife is
tough
a vet.
job. It's a tough job.
I've heard about that book. Yeah.
She actually loves
how
it.
she
Loves it.
yeah. I guess you're wired to do it or you're not, I guess.
She said she's always been good at end of life care for pets. She understands. It's only when somebody puts their pet to sleep unnecessarily, right?
Mm.
That you would struggle with that. But for the most part, a lot of these people, their pets are large, or they just can't really be moved, or maybe they're just not good at a veterinarian, and so they make an appointment, and she can take it away, and they can have the cremation services, and she'll do the paw print for them, and
Wow,
so
she does the whole thing.
Great.
well, she doesn't do the
great.
cremation. There's no burning
Well, I mean,
bodies in
she
our
helps
backyard.
the
But right, she actually takes the body away unless it's too big, and then the
Mhm.
crematory has to meet them. But she does the paw print, and she gives them a little paw print, a little snip of their hair if they want it.
Mhm.
So it's really good. And then she sends a follow-up card, and there are a lot of people will send her like letters and everything after, just hey, thank you so
Aw.
much. You showed a lot of
Wow.
kindness with
Mhm.
Jojo or Buddy or whatever the pet's name is. So, and somebody just recognized her picture that was posted on Facebook from it was a vet tech she used to work with. We had our picture with her, and she's like, "Oh, I know who that is. That's Dr. Carrie. She was so good with our Freddie." And so that was kind of
Aw.
cool. Just it
Mm.
was way better than the BS she was putting up with like day to day at her other job. So
Yeah, I feel that.
yeah.
I totally, and I couldn't take it anymore. So
No, I don't, you know what? And as long as sometimes you have to take that chance, right? You have to take, once you, like you said, you get your ducks in a row, you take that leap, because you know that, good things could be on the other side, but you're never going to know unless you do that. So
you guys,
Mm.
I sent my resignation letter on my 11-year anniversary.
Oh wow.
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 I was like, after 11 years, it's time to go. Hashtag bye, Felicia. No, I didn't.
You don't want to burn too many bridges.
I didn't. I've gone rounds. I went rounds with leadership there. It was a mess. And I realized, you know what, this is a battle I can't win. And I'm tired. I'm really, really tired, and it's draining my soul. And so it's time to do something else. And
Yeah.
fortunately, I scored a contract with an ally organization and another contract with another ally organization. And I'm just like, cool.
It's
So-
funny how things work out.
Yeah. So I'm just like, this is awesome. This will work out. And then we'll see what's next. So it sounds like all of us have been pretty darn busy with a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Right on.
So what's everybody drinking? Anybody drinking something interesting?
Water.
I'm drinking water, but I also had to get a drink because Andy makes fun of me, or not Andy, but Katie makes fun of me.
Yeah,
So I'm
we look
actually
so much
drinking-
alike, Kelly. I can see how you get us mixed
What is
up.
that?
It is JK's Winterruption. It's a spiced farmhouse cider.
Oh, that sounds
it's-
good.
It's
Oh, that does
maple.
sound good.
So if you like maple, you would like it.
Oh,
If you like
right on.
sweeter cider, it's like drinking a pancake. Maybe not quite that sweet, but it's pretty sweet. And as a matter of fact, I drank it with pancakes. And I am a
Really?
milk with my pancakes kind of person. It's because the place where it's made, you can only get this particular kind at this cider house, the
Oh,
Alomar
of
Orchards.
course.
Okay.
Of
And
course.
Carrie and the boys actually they finally did their 5K again, the Scrumpy Skedaddle. So Carrie and the boys did the 5K. I am like unable to run. Not that I would if I could, but I am unable to run now. Thank you, roller derby and softball and everything else.
Bad
However, I am fully capable of tipping the little tasting cups that they give you, because they have this full tasting bar, and you're just like, I'll have that one, and I'll have that one, and I'll have that one, and then you're like, yep, that's good.
You go for
That's not good.
support. For support.
I do. And so, but after the Scrumpy Skedaddle, they had a pancake breakfast. So you get your plate,
We
you put
should
the
all-
pancakes on
We
there,
got to keep
and then
practicing, you guys.
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Get that wrist, in a certain way.
Exactly.
There you go.
So, but I picked up like a whole ton of these, and then I picked up even more for a coworker, and I ended up
Nice.
meeting him because I let him and his girlfriend have one a few months back, and they're like, "Oh my God, what is this?" I'm like, "Sorry, you can't get it anywhere around here," because that's the kind of person I am. Like, hey, try this amazing thing. Sorry, you can't
That you
get
can
it.
never
Sorry.
find again. Yeah. I'm having screwball peanut butter whiskey, actually.
Oh, shut up. I have 2 things of that in back here in the bridge.
Really? This is the first time
Stuff.
I've
I like
had
it.
I was gonna say it, Andy. I'm like, where? On the bridge?
What fridge?
Yeah, it's back there, you know, where
The replicator.
Behind the captain's chair.
right there.
Your little cooler behind the captain's chair. There you
Well,
go.
yeah. Why wouldn't the captain have a personal cooler?
It's
on
pretty
now.
good. I like it. It really
Gross.
tastes like peanut butter.
It does.
I did not. Gross.
I like it. It's not. I expect it to be really sweet, but it is not, and it tastes like
It's not.
peanut butter. I like it.
We taste tested that, and that got a bad face from me. Along with whiskey, any other whiskey, coffee, actually, as of the last taste test, coffee got the bad taste face. That's what, it's the bad taste face.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys know my bad taste face.
Yes,
Yes,
we've
we
seen
know
it.
your bad taste face.
I don't
Yeah.
hide things well. I have an expressive face. Okay?
Yes, I remember
And if
you
I
did
don't
Girl
like
on
it-
Fire. Yeah, you did Girl on Fire. Yeah, I remember that. One of
Oh,
our funniest.
That was
episodes.
awful, Katie. That was the worst
Mhm.
thing I've ever tasted,
Mhm, mhm.
minus the dock crackers.
I don't know what that is, but moving
All right, well,
on.
we have shot the shit for a while. Should we jump into what we're here for?
We have, but you know,
We
that's
had
what
to
it's
get caught
called,
up,
shooting
y'all.
the shit. It's called shooting the shit.
It's
We can talk
true,
about
it's
whatever the
true.
hell we want to. So
But these were important things. Human connection is an important thing, and we had to make
I
it.
agree.
yes, I agree. There you go. And I'm sure our 10 listeners and viewers, really want to know.
They want to know what the hell we've been up to.
doing.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Okay, so you want to tell us what our subject matter is today, Kelly?
Well, I was wrong. So
No.
hold on, let me go. Up. Okay. So a while ago, some people who are listening may have may remember that both Katie and I had made various posts on social media asking what books we thought would make either excellent movies or graphic novels, and why maybe they, and not everybody said why, but why they would make a good movie or graphic novel. And let's take it to our special guests, Anne and Andy. What do you think would make something have good potential for a movie or a graphic novel?
Or even a TV show. Mm-hmm.
And go ahead. Sorry.
Hey,
Put you on the spot.
you go. Well, I like something that's visual, that's very different visually in my head. So if you have your contemporary romance, it would work well maybe as a movie. But when you read something like spec fic, I find that there's so much to see in my head. I would like to see it at least as a graphic novel. And I like graphic novels for that. You can still do part of the work in your head. Like they don't show you everything in a graphic novel, but you get glimpses and like windows into the story. And so any story that's a bit out there, I think would be interesting. Also, graphic novels. I was stuck on graphic novels because I used to watch. I did the reverse thing, where I watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I don't know if you remember that show. It's one of my top 3 ever, and it ended after a while, and they were not ready to let go of the story. Just Whedon wanted to keep on going, but the network wasn't doing it anymore. And what he did, I have it here, he wrote the season 8 of the show as a graphic novel. So he kept the show going. So he did the reverse. He had a TV show and he turned that into a book because he couldn't do the TV show anymore. And and I bought that series because I wanted to see the end of that show, And so whenever I read a book that has that, puts images in my head, I would like to see it like the other way around, see the real images. So Yeah. So
Uh,
I find graphic novels are good for that. They don't show you everything. You get some ideas.
Real quick before Andy jumps in, I'm going to say I understand what you say there, Anne, because as Katie, you watched The Legends of Korra, right?
Yes.
Did you know there are two trios of graphic novels?
Yes, I know.
I have them all because Ray D. Magden told me about it. And the thing about Legends of Korra, The Legend of Korra, is that Korra and Asami were confirmed to be a couple at the very end, but it doesn't really show it. It shows them kind of walking off into the like the wilds, or I can't remember what it's called now.
Me either.
The lesbian sunset.
What? They walk off hand in hand. And
in the lesbian sunset. I like that.
Right. The creators confirmed that they were a couple, which is just the greatest thing ever, considering everything that they went through and that they both dated the same guy at one point. So they confirmed that they were a couple. And then Ray Magden is one that told me that there were two sets of graphic novels that were after, and it actually shows them as a couple. So of course, my queer ass had to go out and buy all 6 of them. Okay, sorry. All right, you're next, Andy. Tell us what you why you think what makes a movie a good would make a good movie or graphic novel or TV show.
I tend to gravitate toward, I don't know, Kelly, maybe you and Katie are the same way, but I gravitate toward kind of more of the adventure side of things. And so when I'm reading something or writing something along those lines, I sort of visualize it in my head, and it kind of unspools in my head. But I'm also looking for strong characters, whether they're assholes or the main character or the sidekicks or the primary and secondary and tertiary characters. And I like really strong dialogue, because I think dialogue in certain movies just that provides characterization, and it also pushes the plot. It pushes the plot along too.
I agree totally.
Because you reveal stuff through the dialogue. So I kind of lean that way. I like graphic novels a lot. I'm maybe not as visually oriented because I have this whole movie in my head, but I do like to see how something plays out in comic and graphic novel format, and how a writer conceptualizes different scenes and then the colors come in as part of those scenes, and how the colors are used to move the story as well. So they're like a graphic novel is sort of like static cinematography.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're just kind of like caught up in different panels.
Show of hands, how many of us actually collected or read or currently collect comic books or graphic novels?
I do.
Not currently. I
did
a long time. Yeah, I used to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't currently collect comics, but I have a few thousand. I have 6 or 8 of the long banker boxes full of backed and bagged comic books from what I used to collect. And I haven't collected in, like 20 years now, but occasionally I will pick up graphic novels of different stuff, of something that I find interesting. However, I think that's one of the things that I found really appealing. I don't know if any of you have read The Private Life of Jane Maxwell by Jen Gott. And the way that novel is written, the main character is an artist, a comic book artist. So when she's approaching a scene, she describes it the way you would describe like how a panel is drawn, like in freeze frame of a comic. And a lot of people, I think, maybe didn't like that about it. And that made me like it more because it took me right back to my comic book days. And that's the same thing when I decided I wanted to write a comic superhero book. I put in that omniscient narrator because to me, that reminded me of when I read comic books and it had the omniscient narrator that was in the panels, Meanwhile, back at the Hall
of Justice, right. I was thinking the same thing. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice,
the whole time I was writing my superhero book, I could hear that voice in my head, and that's when I would write the voice. So, and some people found it annoying. I mean, it is what it is. Some people found the narrator annoying, but to me, like that was an integral part of the book because I wanted it in an old style comic book
Mhm.
type. And I had a couple people that commented saying they liked the book because it reminded them of reading a comic book. So, you win, you lose, right?
Yeah, you can't
But
please
I like
everybody.
that. I like that format. And I agree with Andi that I think dialogue is really important. Like some books are all in their head and they're very good. It's very maybe poetically written, very floral language. There's a lot of introspection. And those are all really excellent books, but I don't think they would lend themselves to an excellent movie because without dialogue, it's just static silence in a movie, right?
I agree. I have a tendency. I like the great dialogue, and if it, I have read books. I haven't read a lot lately. It's been a while, but I have read books where they were mostly in their heads, and I did enjoy them for the most part. But the snappiness of the dialogue and everything is what gets me going, because regardless of if it's adventure, spec fic, contemporary romance, it's always like a movie in my head.
Yeah.
So anything I've read, or I'm really into audiobooks nowadays. So anything I've listened to or read, it plays like a movie in my head. And I can see that. So I'm always thinking, oh my God, that would be a good movie, or I would love to see that in a series, or something like that, just to see good, strong representation. In fact, Reaping the Benefits by EJ. Anybody read that? To me, you've read that?
Yes.
I love that. I think it was different, and I think it will make an excellent movie. Just the ambiance of it was hilarious. I mean, it was funny. It was sexy. It had pretty good dialogue. So there would be a kind of a different type of like not even sci-fi. I don't even know where you would put that. But to me, it was a good book. It was different. So, but as I was listening to it, I could see it, just playing out as a nice, quirky movie, so.
If I could jump in for people who aren't aware of that book, that's E.J. Noyes, or I don't know, do they pronounce it Noyes? I'm not really sure. Is it okay? Reaping the Benefits, and it's like this alt universe, and Death is the form of the woman, basically, and Death's minions are recruited, and they have to deliver these afterlife packages to people. So, and I think you're absolutely right. I think that would make a great movie.
Yes.
I have not read that, but now that you've just described it, I may have to add that to my TBR.
I think you will love it. I mean, it's quirky.
What, Katie? Do you think it could be like a series though?
Yes.
Could that be like maybe a TV show?
Yeah,
it could be a TV show.
I could see it, because even as that first iteration ends or whatever, I think the world is rich enough to place other things in it.
Could be other minions.
Yes, exactly.
Other jobs.
Exactly. Right. Kind of like, anybody watch Lucifer?
Yeah, I've watched a few. Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
I love Lucifer. It ended. I think it's on its final season, but that was in particular. I can't see exactly that show going on because it was the titular character, Lucifer, So, but to me, Reaping the Benefits kind of could be like that, but with just different people, like you said, different minions, their story, how they cope with their jobs, and and all that stuff, and how they deal with being, pretty much eternal. I mean, so I think it would be very interesting, definitely.
I think I'm more of an action drawn person when I do see the books in my head. I think the day that I found out that there are people who read and don't actually see imagery in their head, it's an actual condition, and I cannot remember what it's called.
Really?
And that's when I'm like, well, that's probably why some people just don't like reading. Even if they're good at reading, they don't like it because they don't see those images where I have a full-on movie.
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
But, and there are a lot of people. So some of the comments we had, like one of my examples that I put in when I asked the question about what would make an excellent movie or graphic novel, I had said Lucky 7 or Lucky 8 by Ray Magnan, because it has this blockbuster feel to it. The fight scenes, it has great diversity. The crew, there's a lot of passion there. There's action. And to me, that was Passion.
Mhm.
It was as good as any,
Oh.
superhero movies out there. But a lot of people there were a very wide variety of responses just on the Facebook post, where some people picked stuff like Ray Magdan's book or the Chronicles of Elsie. I don't even know how it's pronounced. Andy?
I say Elsie, but I think Fletcher may pronounce it differently. But
I don't know. We'd have to ask Fletcher.
Fletcher, if you're watching, please correct us.
If you're one of the 10, can you drop a note in the comments.
I wrote I would like to see the Compass Rose book. That was
and that would be
good.
another good blockbuster movie.
And
right?
Lee Winter's Shattered. I love that. You talk about dialogues.
I see that. I'm looking at yours right now. Ray Magdan's books.
Yes.
And mine, apparently.
Yes.
But I think maybe the reason why I gravitate toward books like that is because, or maybe vice versa, the reason I write books that are that action blockbuster qualities, because I like reading books like that. So I've had a lot of people tell me in reviews, like, this is like watching a blockbuster movie. And I'm like, okay, that's, kind of flattering, unless you're talking about it's like low quality crap that it's
like
just Steven
Seagal or something like that.
Hey,
other people,
we can rewrite Steven Seagal and make it better.
Yes, definitely.
Stephanie Seagal. I'm just saying.
I agree with you totally, Amy. I agree with you totally.
So other people wrote.
Sorry. Yeah,
I was just going to say.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say there were other types of books too that weren't, as far as I know, like speculative fiction.
Yeah.
Like 3 books by Jordan Kelly would make excellent films: The Arrangement and The Call by Melissa Therese. So it's not all of these are, I guess, like big epics. Some of them are would be more like a rom-com or something, right? Or go ahead, Anne.
I find that it used to be we had movies and then we had TV series. And now we have something in between. We have the Netflix. I just watched the Squid Game. It's only like 9 episodes, and it's all there. And so it's another format now. You don't have to think of a series of 26 episodes, and doesn't have to be that long. So now it opens the door to many other books, like, for instance, Backwards to Oregon, which is historical. It would fit nicely in a 10 episode format, and that's it, And then you could have the spin-offs or the other novels of the series, and they could be like another season. But I like that now we have an extra option, which is between the TV show and the movie. It's somewhere and they have big bucks to produce.
Yes.
So something like, I haven't read them, but something like Backwards to Oregon. So if you guys can, if y'all can think of like American Horror Story, right? So you have the same actors, and you have one season is a full story, and then the next season it's a completely different story, but it's the same actors. So when you have a season that is a complete story, you could tell those big epics like the whole Backwards to Oregon saga, or if you look at the Chronicles of L-C-E, and so you could tell the full story in one season, even if you didn't have a story that necessarily lended itself to forever, where you had to keep writing new things,
Yeah, the binge
kind
watch.
Of interesting.
Yeah. I like the invention of binge watching. I mean, where if you want to take that whole day, to watch those 9 episodes or whatever,
exactly.
like you don't have anything else to do.
Nobody's judging you, Katie.
I didn't say I did things like that. I have a job.
You didn't either.
Well, no, I didn't say that either.
Oh.
But it can be on in the background, and I can just like turn around and be like, oh,
But it's true too. And when you have this new format, as you pointed out, Anne, you don't run into the same kind of issues that any long running series, which is stagnation, right? You've saturated every idea you can possibly think of, and with the characters that you have. So you just, it starts to get stale and the people lose interest. And this way it's always kind of fresh.
Yes.
I think American Horror Story really kind of pioneered this. It was pretty.
But it got bad though.
Well,
American Horror Story is awful now. The
I haven't
first
seen it in a
season,
few years.
yeah, me either. The first season was really good. The second season was okay, and then it kind of like what the fuck are you
I mean,
doing?
all of it was kind of what the fuck, but
Well, yeah, but it was even more what the fuck. Like, really, come on. I could write something more interesting in
I
that.
really like that point that Anne made about the different structure that can be employed now for streaming platforms. I was watching web series too for a while, and I think that if that's a medium that some folks want to try out, there's a lot of really cool lesfic stories that are available as web series. And
Really?
I immediately am thinking here of Carmilla. If you guys,
I've heard of that. I've seen that movie. Yeah.
It is. I don't know what the hell. I started watching the web series and I got sucked in immediately, and I was like, "This is fucking amazing," and it kind of wrapped it up into, like Anne was saying, like a package where you could go off into the movie or you didn't have to. It ended on a note that worked. And for those not in the know, Carmilla is a vampire story that actually was originally written in the 19th century about a female vampire who preyed on women. I'm just saying. And so has been adapted numerous times. And a small Canadian production company created the web series Carmilla, and it's available for free on YouTube. And the episodes range from like 2 to 7 minutes each episode.
Really?
You can just like scream through there, and it's done in it's told from the point of view of like, well, you'll have to see it. It's like a fixed view. So you have, at first I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. And then it was so well done. And there are all kinds of queer characters in there, and it's funny. The dialogue is great. There's like tension, there's romantic tension. There's like friends to enemies and back to friends and then lovers. So it's got a lot of really great tropes in it too. So I think web series are also another way, because it's relatively, you can produce a web series, I think, for much less than you can for like on a streaming platform. But obviously you still have to have money, and you still have to have talent, and you still have to have those things. But because it is a smaller package.
Yeah, I think gone are the days where we have to watch the really bad lesbian movie. You know what I mean? Where it's just like
people still watch them, Katie.
But you know what? But you still have a problem where the only mainstream lesbian movies are like historical, depressive fiction.
Yeah, they die. Go back to the husband.
Historical fiction at all. And I don't like historical fiction books. I don't like historical fiction movies. And then you throw historical fiction, some sort of period piece, and just depressive plots. And I would give me a futuristic, give me something, give me Star Trek with all queer people.
That, like you said.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to see something like that. I mean, and that's the whole point. And, I don't know if we're ever going to get there to the point where, where Hollywood or whatever will understand, if you put it out there, we will come. We will watch it. I mean, but
I think
we've gotten to the point now where it has to be better than the crap that's been out there. I mean, because I've seen some really horrid movies, where you're going like, what the, really? Somebody gave you $10 to make that, didn't they?
I think the wave is rising. I think now that more people are coming out, and more people are comfortable coming out, and more people are being celebrated, you're seeing a lot more queer actors in Hollywood, a lot more queer writers, queer producers, and they're really kind of pushing inclusive content. And I think that's really important to seeing those better written, higher budget
Name
movies.
one thing.
What?
Name one thing.
I'm not going to say it was great, but we had a Christmas movie come out with higher named actors. What?
Sense8.
Sense8. We started watching that one.
That
we never got a chance to finish it.
Yeah, like that. I really enjoyed that.
Great queer characters.
Yeah. What was that?
Harley Quinn. the cartoon Harley Quinn on HBO
Okay.
Max.
Okay.
I have heard about that, but I can't
Love
watch
it.
on
It's one of
HBO.
my favorite shows.
Good.
Love it. It's so funny. It's the shark favorite character.
It's completely irreverent and dirty and raunchy and
inappropriate
and so queer.
Yes,
So queer.
very much so.
Look how absolutely inclusive and queer the She-Ra series was.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
That's another one. She-Ra for
Yes.
sure.
But you know what? It was a cartoon.
Which makes it even more amazing because it's technically geared towards kids. But
Was it? It was in a way.
It touched very, very mature themes such as, redemption and abandonment and mental and physical and emotional abuse.
Mhm.
Like it touched a lot of really serious themes in that, but it was still geared. It was still a children's cartoon, purposely made campy, but it was good. So here's a movie suggestion that somebody made, and I actually read this. Lynn Ames, Great Bones. That would
I've
be
never heard of that.
Oh
That's
my
a
god,
rom-com, right?
it is.
And
that
and
Lynn.
You've
Lynn,
read that, right?
I haven't read that one.
I saw her reading it live at GCLS in Vegas, and I cracked up laughing like everybody else in the crowd at this author reading, and I bought it like right then. And I don't read a lot of contemporary, but it was hilarious, mostly because her voices, she had them down.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
Well, Lynn does great reading. I mean, let's just be real. I think that also, and Anne, back me up on this or not, I think that there is also a huge market for queer rom-coms.
Yes.
And I frankly want to see like a queer mark channel.
Ooh, we'll love that.
And
oh my
people
god.
are tired of being sad.
Authors. Give us
I'd
some authors.
and we have some funny books like Robin Alexander. She writes
Yes,
such funny stories, and they make great audios too. I was going to say, and I don't want to be a downer, but I don't think our literature is going to be put in movies in a short term. So
no.
I think
I agree.
Formats like web series, as you mentioned, Andy, and graphic novels are probably going to happen faster.
Mm-hmm.
We also saw something. Melissa Braden has a contract now to turn one of her series into
interactive
a
game,
video
interactive
game.
stories.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be more accessible in formats like that sooner.
Yeah.
I mean, because we can. This is a topic that comes up often on our groups. What books would make good movies, and of course we all know them, but let's be honest, they won't make it to movies, most of them.
Yeah.
But we
This is
have
pie
other media. We have
wish
other
list.
media where it can happen. I mean, and graphic novels are one, and web series are good. And I think if it happens, it's going to be with the big companies like Netflix, Apple TV.
Yeah.
That are
Amazon.
willing to
They're
kind
more-
of push the envelope. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and they have the capital, and they have
Yes.
the flexibility to be able to take a short-term risk like a single season
Mhm.
to do that and see how it turns out. And I think you're absolutely right, because if you think about it right now, the movie industry in general is still struggling with diversity and inclusivity
It's
to
very
get
white.
people of color.
It's very white, and it's
so,
typecast, and
Yeah,
and that
so
scares me in a way when we talk about things like this, because if you want to get down to it, Lesfic is extremely white.
Oh yeah.
I mean, extremely extreme. We've made a little headway here and there, but it bothers me. I wouldn't say, but it scares me that when we talk about moving to another medium, that
People
it's
of
just going to
color
be
will
the
get left behind
same.
again.
Exactly. So
And
that does
I think-
bother me.
I think that honestly is the bigger focus, that when we're trying to get Hollywood to be more diverse, as much as I would like to see a queering of Hollywood, I think first we need to take care of the other problems so that we can open it up for all the other people who are being marginalized, right? Let's stop with all of the, cishet white people and start getting more people of color in, and then that will open the doors. It's a matter of getting the viewer, the people that are buying the tickets, interested so that the studios will take that risk.
And it's not that hard these days.
No,
I mean,
because
and
there's
it's
so
just
many
like
people of color.
yes,
right?
and I'm
like,
so tired of that argument that, oh, people are not going to
everybody
watch
spends
Asian
money.
people on the screen, or people don't want to see Black. That's the biggest lie you can tell yourself. I mean, and it's like you've been proven wrong again and again and again. How many times does something like Black Panther, Shang-Chi,
Yes. I have not seen that yet.
Me either, but I'm waiting for it to come on Disney. But how many times does things like that have to happen before somebody go like, oh, so white people will go see that too?
Yeah.
Duh. I mean, it's kind of like the whole superhero thing when the whole Marvel started their thing, and people were like, that's not gonna catch on. People do not like that kind of thing. And look at it now. And look at now. Am I sorry it took forever for them to concentrate a movie on a woman? I don't like that aspect of it. It took forever for them to concentrate a movie on a Black hero. I didn't like that aspect, but they did. Did. And to me, they proved that it could be done and that it can make shitloads of money. So why is it that other people are like, oh, we still have to make this movie where the lesbian dies, or we still have to make this movie where the Black guy dies to push around the white person's story, or we still have to have this movie where the bisexual goes back to her husband, and and stuff like that, which is fine. They're bisexual. I mean,
why do the marginalized people have to be pushed down to raise the storyline of the people who aren't marginalized?
I'm so tired of that. I was watching, I don't know if you guys are familiar. It's a show called The Rookie. It's a police show or whatever. And they had a gay Black character. Killed him off camera. They killed him off camera.
Not even on camera.
It's like, well, he got shot. And it looked like he got shot in the shoulder or something. So... And then they were talking about he was dead. I was like,
there we go. Bury the gays.
There you go. And okay. So the guy wanted to leave the show. I get it. But we have to start addressing that kind of thing and finding other outlets we have to. I mean, it's getting to the point where it's like, okay, I see this going on screen, and oh my God, it's a lesbian relationship, buddy, and oh my God. And then they throw something stupid in a way, or it's just like, really.
But the thing is, we have our literature, and we have our books where it ends well.
Yes.
And they don't die.
Yes.
So it's up to us to push it and to make it, to turn it into other medias.
Well, you see some authors are doing that right now. Look at Jax Meyer.
Yes.
Trying to get that like it's like a series or a movie, right? Some authors are going out and they're taking classes on writing screenplays and they're getting funding and they're trying to like start it from the bottom, right?
Yeah. So I like seeing that, and I wish it would catch on. I mean, I know I think it's Jade Winters that has her own production thing going too.
Really?
So, I see stuff about on Instagram. I've kind of breezed through it, but I always see something about in the studio or filming or something like that. So there are people putting their fingers in those pies, so to speak. So and that's good. I just wish it would just kind of accelerate in a way, and
it's all very ambitious to me.
It is. It
I
is.
get tired thinking about it. Like, I don't know. I'm still trying to learn how to TikTok. So everybody's like, you need to do book talk. I'm like, I don't even know how to do TikTok. And apparently book talk is TikTok. Same, it's TikTok. It's just people doing book stuff. It's people doing books on TikTok. So, I played around with like a couple videos and then I got told, you need to show more Jill. I'm like, well, so much for book talk. I just need to show my dog.
Yeah, there you go.
Put her in like a costume or something. There you go. And then put the book in front of her, something like that.
But yeah, it's exhausting. It's exhausting keeping up with everything. And I understand why you don't see more authors who are trying to pursue those avenues because, trying to just write, let alone write something that is in a format that would be you'd be able to use for something like this, and then trying to pitch it. And a lot of authors don't even have agents. There are a lot of authors that don't have agents. So trying to pitch something like this to some place that would be able to make a movie or make a television show, like it's just like you're swimming upstream in a flood,
Yeah, I mean, some publishers they're picky about even doing audiobooks, and I know they cost a lot to produce.
My previous publisher would not do it because she didn't see a return on it. Like
the market is huge now, and I'm just like,
now,
huge now,
that's why my current publisher is like, yes, I want to start pursuing this because I don't know anything about it, but I have some books that I'd like to throw out there that are popular. And I get asked all the time. People ask me, like, do you have audiobooks? And I'm like, no. My previous publisher.
Just say you're working on it.
Yeah. My previous publisher, absolutely not. If I wanted an audiobook, I'd have to fund all the money myself, and then they would get a cut because they had the editors that did the book. Now it's a little different. My current publisher wants to look into audiobooks. It's just super busy stuff.
It's a huge market. I mean, it's gotten to the point where it's hard for me to sit down and read on my Kindle. Yeah, it aggravates me. And so I'd rather just, hook my iPhone in my car and just listen as I'm driving to work, or listen as I'm, laying in. To me, it's my next thing. And I'm like,
I don't drive anymore. So
I'm
that's
doing,
hard. Like,
I'm doing the Sapphic challenge, Jay's reading challenge. I'm up to 98 books now.
Wow.
And I would say 5 of those books were Kindle books. The rest were all audios.
See, that's me too. And it's just like, if I can't find it on audio, like I want to read Cheryl Head's books. But I'm like, I was messaging her. I said, your stuff is not on audiobook. And she was like, no. I said, you need to get on that. I mean, seriously. I was like, I would love, I've heard so much about that series, and I love, detective novels. I like all that stuff. So, I'm just like, but I'm not going to sit down and read.
And this is one of the things that I've been thinking about too, is more avenues for telling stories in different ways, as Anne brought up, but also I would love to see more audiobook availability at libraries, especially queer literature. And I don't know if that's a matter of approaching the library. Maybe Anne knows something about that, or making it.
It's hard to find queer literature at libraries, let alone queer literature on audiobook. See, I am not an audiobook person because it would be way too slow for me.
You can speed it up. You can adjust.
I can't speed it up nearly as fast as I can read. I'm on my third book, third day. And by the way, these books, it's a reread. I haven't read them in years, but I pulled them out because I really wanted to read them. And now that we're on this discussion, these books would make a freaking amazing movies. It's the Partners series, the sci-fi series by Melissa Good. She also did the Darren Carey Tropical Storm.
I love
right?
Melissa Good. Yeah.
Have you ever read her Partner series?
I have not. I read the Darren Carey series.
It's dystopian. It's set like hundreds of years in the future, and the tall, dark-haired
is it on
Jessalyn Drake. No.
Okay, see.
Is it Xena Uberfic? Is it Uberfic? Is that what it
is? All of hers are.
But, all of her stuff is. And she wrote, she was so huge back in the day with the Darren Carey series. It was just like,
well, she had the Merpups. She had all of her fan fiction too. But she's got another one of the Darren Carey books coming out. I want to say November or December. She's releasing another one. It's going to be like number 13 or 14 or something.
I would love that as an audio.
She has this thing.
I think that's one of the number one ones next that will be audio, like when
Oh.
Patty starts doing audio, because she got all of those books from Regal Crest when she bought us, when she baught out Regal Crest, she got all the Regal Crest books. And I think that's, I'm like, you need to either do that or do and playing the role of herself. And I think she's doing and playing the role of herself first. But
It's already been done though.
It was, but it's gone. You can't get it anymore because the company tanked or something that did it. I don't know. There was, I think there was some screwing over there.
I got it. I have it.
But you can't get it anymore. That's the thing. They did something sketchy.
And have Abby Creighton read all of them.
I see. I don't know anything about audio. I just know that if you like dystopian,
knows what I'm
you
talking
should read
about.
the Partner series. She's got, it's a 3-book series. So, and I just blasted through them on my third day, third book. So,
wow.
But yeah, and that's when I started writing, people, because I can read a book a day easy and do all of my other work. I'm just a fast reader.
You're just special, aren't you?
I mean, my cat thinks so.
Your cat is special too.
I agree.
You said cat. You have more than one, by the way.
Well, we do. The other one's not special. He's stupid.
Okay.
Look, as you're talking about Clark, Finn was over here screaming at me. Did you guys hear it?
No.
You got, okay, good. Because he was like looking at me like.
Katie, speaking of special, would you like to move on to the what the fuck portion
of
this
podcast?
I would.
And guys, we always like to keep this secret just so we can see reactions and stuff. And we try.
Are you ready, Andy and Ann?
Yeah. We have some interesting stuff.
Start with the knife, the zoo.
The zoo. Let's start with the zoo.
Something quick like sculptures.
Let's start with the zoo, then to the knife, and we'll close out with the sculptures.
Alrighty then. So I don't know if you all have seen we will go and I will start sharing with you. I don't know if you have seen the news article about this. I actually watched it and I cracked up laughing. Let me share sound. But so the article was parents horrified as gorillas engage in oral sex in front of kids at zoo. Now, I don't know if any of you all know about the animal kingdom, but they're like the bonobo monkeys. That's not what these are, but bonobo monkeys, they are a very sexual species. That's not what these are, but I'm saying that this is not an unheard of thing in the animal kingdom. They have sex to show dominance, males and males, females and females. They're just full of sexy time, bonobo monkeys. So this didn't really surprise me, but apparently it surprised all the zoo people, all the people watching with their children. Let's just go ahead and start this. And it's probably going to have an ad.
I absolutely laughed right off.
Anyway, so parents were horrified. It was at the Bronx Zoo. They're all watching when essentially one of the monkeys decides to go down on another, the gorillas goes down on another gorilla, and you can see very clearly what the gorilla is doing. And of course, the people that are looking, you've got one person that never stops filming, because there's always somebody that never.
There's always that
filming.
one person.
Always. So you can see. Oh, and everybody.
Here we go.
Look how cuddly they are.
Oh no! Oh my God!
Enjoying it.
Oh no! Don't look, Josie.
Don't look, Josie. We wouldn't want you to see what pleasure looks like.
Oh.
Anyway,
That is hilarious.
Oh, good Lord.
So,
Well, they finished quick.
well, I mean, you don't know that they finished. We don't know what was going on there. But anyway, one was performing oral sex on another.
Whoops.
One was performing oral sex on, we're just going to close that out. One was performing oral sex on another. 4-year-old, they were so this guy with this 4-year-old daughter and niece, and the wife had to stay out of the display exhibit with the sleeping son, so he wanted to capture a lot of video. And then that magic happened. And it's just, I don't know. I found it incredibly funny. I think it's a
That was
good
hilarious.
natural learning moment. What are your thoughts on it? And you've got kids. Like, would you all just stay and laugh? Would you herd them out? You know,
But you had the
would it depend on
eyes.
age? Would it depend on the age? Like if
Yeah,
they were
it depends on
younger?
the age.
Yeah.
Mine are now college age, so
Well, right. Well,
They
if
wouldn't
you
mind.
think about it, though, the younger ones, they're not going to know what's going on. The older
No.
ones are probably going to know what's going on, but it's like, I mean,
The 4-year-old's like, why are those gorillas wrestling?
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, why are they wrestling with their mouths?
I mean, it
Anyway.
just shows that, it's all natural.
Sexy times or sexy times?
Right. It doesn't matter if you're a gorilla or a people.
Alpaca?
This isn't the first zoo that has inadvertently hosted a raunchy scene involving gorillas, with footage posted on social media 7 years ago depicting something very similar. Before you can scream, somebody think about the children, it's worth pointing out that it's perfectly natural in the wild. Yes, it
Yes.
is. It makes you wonder that what
It's still hilarious though.
it is pretty hilarious. Yeah.
I thought
said
the
that-
funniest part was the reactions of the people. I was like,
Well, right.
The
This
guy
is
was like,
interesting.
oh no, look away.
So this is an interesting thing too. A team led by Dr. Sula Gruder of the University of Western Australia even discovered back in 2016 that some gorillas engage in same-sex intercourse just for the sheer thrill of it. Because why wouldn't you?
I mean,
They
yeah.
were
Why not?
researching a group of apes during a trip to the Rwandan section of the Virunga mountain range in Central Africa, where they saw 45 instances of 2 female gorillas going at it.
right
Why
on,
wouldn't they?
ladies.
Yeah,
There
right?
you go. They know
One
where
team
it's
believes
at.
this happens if they get rejected by the males and therefore seek out a different type of sexual companion.
Whatever. That's such a
Whatever.
guy interpretation.
That is
That
heterosexual
is a
thinking right there.
cis-dude interpretation. Like, oh, well,
It's kind of
they
like
could-
the Wonder
they
Woman
couldn't get any
movie.
dicks, so they went for that.
Yeah, it's
Right,
like the
right.
Wonder Woman
Right.
movie when that reviewer said that she had her first kiss with Steve, and everybody was
Oh.
like, "Really?
Yes,
Really?
right.
Yeah.
She lived until adulthood in a nation of all women, and you're going to tell
And
me
it
every
had-
one of those women is virginal until they die?
Just saying.
Of
I don't
course,
believe-
in the male world, yeah, they were all
Right.
just
Some
waiting.
people.
Oh,
They
it's
can't
not
conceive.
sex if there's not a penis.
Oh,
Oh,
I can't. Oh man, don't get me started on that. Anyway,
ugh.
anyway.
Speaking
And
of
it's not that
penises,
it's not that I'm against penis. I actually just realized that I would technically be considered pansexual. So there you go.
Yeah,
Not just
but
penis.
the point is that
The
I mean,
male
you're
gaze
just
is a
being a
powerful
dude.
thing.
are like, oh, well, these female gorillas clearly couldn't get a guy. Like,
It is a very,
Mhm.
very cis
Het.
male.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
cis
All right.
you, man.
Speaking of penises,
Peni, whatever you want to call
peni,
them.
I don't know. I think both work. I think they're both technically
Oh boy.
technical.
What do we got? Yeah, Jack Daniels. Okay.
These ads are killing me, Katie.
I know that.
You send me these links. All right. So next one. Man cuts off penis and throws it out the car during a police chase.
Ow.
I can't picture cutting
Ow.
off
Why
any
would you
part of
do that?
myself.
It was in Tennessee.
39-year-old, it's Tennessee.
Oh,
They
well,
don't even
never
have
mind.
teeth. They might as well not have penises.
Yeah,
Sorry for anybody in Tennessee.
Well,
Wait,
why
he
did
did
you-
it. He did it to himself.
he did.
Yeah.
39-year-old Tennessee man Tyson Gilbert has been apprehended by authorities after he cut off and tossed his penis
What?
during a police pursuit.
Oh man.
As
Okay.
per local Cookeville station, he reportedly cut off his penis and threw it out the window of his Honda Accord as he attempted to escape law enforcement. Why was he naked?
Why
I-
was his
I don't
penis
know. How
is this-
interfering with
M-
the car chase?
How is he able to drive off and escape? Like, what did he use? Scissors? Was he naked?
Wait, y'all. Were there drugs involved? I'm
You
just
know there had to be drugs.
Probably.
curious
All right.
because
So the
So
guy
he-
is being chased, and he says, "I'm going
right,
to
hold
go
on, hold on.
faster
Let-
if I don't have the
Let me finish the
appendage."
article.
Hold
It
on,
began
there's more.
shortly
There's
after
more.
he was parked in the way of traffic on a highway. So he was stopped on a highway. with him
Okay.
speeding off after authorities flagged him down. And then the witness, when I pulled up behind him and turned my lights on, he took off and refused to stop. He was all over the road the whole time. Tennessee Highway Patrol Trooper Bobby Johnson, sorry, he turned off on Old Liberty Road and came to a stop. He opened his door. He was naked and covered in blood. Then he
Oh.
shut his door and kept driving. The chase went through 2 counties, and at some point, Gilbert cut off his genitalia. The Alexandria Police Department spiked him on Highway 70 as he was going through Alexandria, added Trooper Bobby Johnson.
Wow.
Bobby.
He kept traveling westbound, finally able to box man, got him stopped, took him into custody, was then transported to Vanderbilt Hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone in this is named Johnson.
What the?
So
Why-
according to authorities, Gilbert said he cut off his penis because he heard voices from his car radio
no.
that told him to do it in
Mhm.
order to save the world.
Oh yes.
Yes, because
no,
you
you're
save the
having a
world with your
mental
penis.
break.
Mm-hmm.
He was
See, we had save the cheerleader, save the world, and now it's cut it
Off your
off, save
penis
the world.
thing. Yeah,
Right.
cut it off. Save the world.
Wow.
And this is the best part. There's another article. They never found the man's penis. You know how they could go back and find it and attach it. They never
Lorena
found it.
Bobbitt.
something probably ran off with it. I don't see the other article.
Oh,
I'm guessing if they were chasing him out in the middle of nowhere and he like dropped it when he got out of his car, it probably
No,
fell
he
out
threw
of
it
his
out the
lap.
window. He threw it out the window.
so
That part.
like a dog found a bone.
Yeah,
That
there
or
you
just
go.
got run over and it went complete splat and it was just a
Ugh.
smear on the highway.
Oh,
Oh,
That guy, man.
or the
so
next,
now-
the car behind just rolled on. to it.
yeah. Now he doesn't
Can
have
you
a
imagine?
penis.
Driving down the highway, you're like, what's
No.
going on? And a car flies by you and a penis bounces off your windshield, leaving
Yeah.
a smear of blood. Like,
Oh,
That will make a good movie.
oh,
I
That's
think
the
your
opening to
definition
a
of
movie right
a
there.
good movie.
That will make an interesting. That will be a good part in the movie. Yeah, that will be a good part of it. Cop
We'll
movie, maybe. Mhm.
Yeah.
Quirky cop show. Yeah,
All right, let's move on to the very last one. Hold
I
on.
think vagina is what you're looking for.
I know, but I got my wife messaging me and it's popping up on my
Oh,
stuff.
the queen. Okay.
Oh, we can't. We
Yes.
can't. Yeah, you gotta wait a minute.
All right, let's one more share here. Okay. So I don't know if there's no sound with it, so it doesn't matter. So this popped up, it was
The
shared.
Vagina
Yeah.
Museum.
Right. Lucy Stone Carver's Vulval Madonna. And this was very fascinating, but what was more fascinating was finding other instances of
Right.
the Madonna, right? Like, so you're telling me this is a statue of the Virgin Mary? Like, huh, interesting. There are some Catholics out there having a huge laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
And
hissy fit.
somebody else-
One of the two.
Somebody else had posted the same statue that other one.
Mm.
It does definitely look
Wow.
very much like a vulva.
Very much so.
Everybody's like,
yes.
beautiful. This is great.
Right. It's great. Another cool one.
So chaste. Very chaste. Those Catholics are. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
I mean-
speaking for Catholics, because I'm
Mhm.
one, I am not having a laugh right now, but it's okay. By the way, I'm not offended, but
Well, for the record, we don't know that this is Catholic.
yeah,
No, we don't.
I don't
Other
think it is.
religions have the
I
Madonna.
would think it's not. But yeah,
Yeah,
This
this
one-
one make
this
a lot
one
of
is-
sense to me. Yeah.
This one is clearly emulating
Mm.
the vulva, right? It's called
Yeah.
the vulva Madonna. I don't think this one was on purpose. I
No,
think
this
it was
is-
just stylistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be the Virgin Mary?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a Madonna. It's a Madonna. Yeah.
Yeah. This
That
is
was-
a different one. And I
Okay.
honestly think this one was just stylistic.
Yes.
Okay, let's think of if we hadn't seen the one before that and we saw this, would you still be
I
thinking
think-
the same thing?
Probably not.
I
That's
would
feminist.
I'm dirty. I would look at that and say that looks like.
Yeah.
Well, it does now that you saw the sculpture before that. But
Well, no,
Well,
I saw
yeah.
this one before I ever saw the other one. Didn't you send me the other one, or did I send it to you? I
No,
don't
you
know,
sent
but
it to me. Mhm.
I saw this one first, and then somebody else said, "Look, I found this too," and then it was the other one, and I was like, "Well, the other one clearly was intended to be
Yes.
like genitalia, but I don't think this one was, but it definitely looked like it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, there's a long history in art doing that with
Yeah.
subversive imagery,
So
It's
And-
hidden
and-
everywhere.
right? And it's not just Catholicism; it's in a variety of different Christian religions. I'm not sure about other religions, but I know for sure there's a lot of subversive imagery.
Well, if for hundreds of years things have been made taboo, people will try to force them out.
They got to
and-
come
Slip
out
it in.
some way. Is that what you're saying?
Or they'll
Yeah.
slip it in.
Yeah, they'll hide it in plain sight.
Makes
probably.
sense. It makes sense.
Or throw it at somebody's windshield while they're driving down the highway.
Yeah, well, that's another artistic avenue.
I can't even imagine the look on that person's face. They're just like talking on Bluetooth, listen to it, all of a sudden, splat. Like, what is that? Like, is that a bird?
yeah, they would have thought they hit an animal or something.
Oh, no.
No, it depends
No.
on how big we don't know. It could have just been like,
Was he a shower or a grower?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess he'll never know again either.
And with that much blood loss, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right?
guy.
Oh, Jesus, dude. Jesus. Oof.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That tweet you showed, Kelly, of
Yeah.
that had the vulvar Madonna, that was from the Vagina Museum, and now I really want to go to the Vagina Museum.
Where is that?
Somewhere cool.
Don't we all have one?
Yes.
Especially once you get over a certain age. Let's see. Oh, the Vagina Museum is temporarily closed.
Oh man.
Why?
Oh
'Cause
wait,
of
they're on the
COVID?
move. Location to be announced. Looks like they're in Camden.
New
But
Jersey.
they were.
The
They
Vagina
were.
Museum moves around.
Yeah. Well,
It's on tour. It's on tour.
Wait a minute. Camden, New Jersey?
It's in London.
Oh, okay.
First Vagina Museum is right here in London. Interesting.
Oh, well, I'm never going to
London,
get over
UK.
there. So.
well. Anyway.
Sadly, the vagina is closed. So
That's
they
sad.
have actually put a large chastity lock on the front door.
It's closed for repairs.
Well, they
Anyway.
do get broken every once in a while.
Looks
I guess.
great.
I don't know.
It's about time. More
Water
people-
damage.
Oh, man.
Water damage.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay.
Katie.
That was awesome, man.
Oh my God. The water
Oh
damage.
man.
That was the best sound bite ever. The
that
water
was-
damage.
That was good. Right on.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to cut that out and like play it as like an advertisement for the podcast.
At the very beginning, just like, and you just change the pitch. Just like water damage, water damage, water damage. Maybe
Turn
this
it
should just be our intro from now on.
Oh, no.
Change the name of the podcast to,
Water damage. Oh.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to do all that, but I think I probably could. Definitely. That's just too good not to
That's
use.
too good. You got to do something with that.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right, Katie.
Yeah. So, God, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. It was a fun
It's fun.
podcast, and thank you for being the ones to welcome us back in a way. Because as Kelly was telling me, it's been a few months since we had and I was like, wow, I didn't know it had been that long. The hurricane thing.
Oh yeah, that.
And then we had, I think, GCLS and, little things like that.
All kinds of things. All the
So many
time.
things.
Yeah.
And water
Glad
damage.
you're all right.
And
There was water damage.
Yeah,
Water damage.
I'm glad you made it through your water damage.
But,
Oh, no.
okay. So, Kelly, hit, hit us
Are you
up.
ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm ready.
We came.
We talked,
We conquered.
and now we got to go. Thanks everybody for joining us, and I hope you enjoy this podcast.